Welcome back to Barrage and Bushcraft. Tonight, we step into the frozen darkness of the Eastern Front, where millions faced a merciless enemy, the cold. At minus 40 degrees, survival was about knowledge, not just courage. The soldiers who endured the Russian winter relied on simple, time-tested tricks. No high-tech gear, just ingenuity. Tonight, we reclaim those life-saving tactics and break down the skills that separated the living from the dead. Let's learn from history's harshest lessons so we don't have to pay the same price. In the cold, your biggest enemy isn't the air. It's the ground beneath you, silently draining away your body heat every second you rest. The frozen earth acts like a giant sponge for warmth, stealing it through conduction, no matter how tough or well-trained you are. Even the best winter clothing can't protect you if you're lying directly on the snow. Early on, Eastern Front soldiers suffered catastrophic losses to frostbite and hypothermia. Many never realized how quickly the cold could cripple or even kill until it was too late. They learned, often the hard way, that survival meant building a barrier between themselves and the ground. It wasn't just about comfort, it was about staying alive through the night. Their three-layer system is still the gold standard today. First, a waterproof barrier, anything to keep moisture out because wetness is the enemy of warmth. Second, a thick layer of insulation, pine boughs, straw, or even spare clothing, anything that traps air and keeps your body heat from escaping into the ground. Third, a comfort layer, blanket, uniform, or rucksack to smooth out the surface, add warmth, and make it possible to actually rest. Each layer has a job. The first shields against wet, the second is a fortress against cold, and the third is your final guard post, making the difference between a miserable night and a survivable one. Today, that system might look like a tarp, a foam pad, and maybe an inflatable pad on top. The materials have changed, but the principle is exactly the same. Skip a layer, and you gamble with your life. The cold is unforgiving, and even a small mistake can have big consequences. If your waterproof fails, your insulation gets wet and becomes useless, leaving you exposed to the full force of the cold. If your insulation is too thin, the cold creeps in. Numbness, frostbite, and hypothermia can set in before you even realize it. Every night was a test of this knowledge, a battle against the elements that demanded constant vigilance and preparation. They weren't just making a bed, they were building a life support system, one that could mean the difference between life and death. For us, the lesson is clear. The ground is always trying to kill you. Build your defenses and never underestimate the power of proper preparation. Don't trust comfort. Trust the system. It's the only thing standing between you and the cold. That's how you wake up alive, ready to face another day no matter how harsh the winter. After a long trek, it's tempting to roll your sleeping bag neatly, just like you might have learned at summer camp or seen in a catalogue. It looks tidy, organized, and feels like the right thing to do. But on the Eastern Front, where temperatures could plummet to deadly lows, that habit could be fatal. Soldiers learned quickly that survival depended on more than just discipline and order. Veterans followed the stuffing doctrine. Shove your bag in the sack, no rolling, no folding, no fuss. It might look chaotic, but there was a reason behind it. Why? Because warmth comes from loft, the air trapped in the insulation. The fluffier the bag, the more air it holds, and the warmer you stay. Rolling creates creases, compresses insulation, and forms cold spots. Heat escapes, and you lose warmth. Those neat folds become weak points where the cold can sneak in. Stuffing randomly avoids permanent fold lines, letting the loft recover fully. Each time you pack it differently, the insulation stays fluffy and effective. Soldiers' gear was basic. Wool blankets, not high-tech bags. They had to make the most of what little insulation they had, relying on every trick to keep warm. Preserving every bit of loft was life or death. In those brutal winters, even a small loss of warmth could mean frostbite or worse. That messy, stuffed bag trapped more air and kept them warmer. The difference could be felt the moment you crawled inside at night. Next time you pack your bag, Don't roll it, stuff it. It might feel wrong at first, but your future self will thank you when the temperature drops. You're not being lazy, you're being smart. You're using a technique proven by those who face the harshest conditions imaginable. You're following a doctrine written in the harshest classroom on earth, where every detail could mean the difference between life and death. When you need it most, your insulation will perform at its peak. No weak spots, no cold channels, just reliable warmth all night long. Remember, a perfect roll looks good, but a stuffed bag saves lives. The messier the pack, the better the warmth. Trust the chaos, stay warm, and know that sometimes the best survival skills are the ones that look the least impressive. Crawling into a cold sleeping bag is like entering a frozen grave. Your body wastes precious energy just warming up the bag before it can warm you. On the Eastern Front, soldiers couldn't afford that loss. Their solution? Preheat the bag. Heat rocks by the fire, not in it. Then wrap them in cloth and place them inside your bag before bed. Or fill your canteen with hot water, seal it tight and use it as a hot water bottle. When you climb in, you're met with warmth, not shock. This small ritual saved metabolic energy, vital for survival. Today, use a nail gene or heated rocks. Pre-warm your bag. You're not just adding comfort, you're conserving your most valuable resource, your own energy. Turn your sleeping bag from a cold grave into a warm sanctuary. It's a simple trick that can save your life. In the cold, piling on more layers at bedtime feels logical, but it's a trap that has caught many before you. The instinct to bundle up to keep every bit of warmth in is strong, especially after a brutal day in freezing conditions. But sometimes what feels right can actually put you at risk. Soldiers learned the hard way. Sometimes to stay warm through the night you actually have to dress down, not up. It's a counterintuitive lesson, but one that could mean the difference between life and death. After a day's march, your base layers are inevitably damp with sweat, even if you don't notice it right away. That moisture clings to your skin, hidden beneath your uniform. When you stop moving, that moisture becomes your enemy. Water conducts heat away from your body 25 times faster than air. Even a little dampness can sap your warmth shockingly fast. Sleeping in damp clothes is a fast track to hypothermia. The cold will creep in, and your body will struggle to keep up, no matter how many blankets you pile on. The solution was strict sleep discipline enforced by both necessity and command. It wasn't just a suggestion, it was a rule for survival. No matter how tired, you had to strip off those damp layers and change into dry clothes. Long underwear, dry socks, a beanie for your head. It was a nightly ritual, and skipping it could be deadly. Your sleeping bag isn't a heater, it's an insulator. It can't create warmth. It only preserves the heat your body generates. It only traps the heat you produce, so if you're cold and wet, you'll stay cold and wet. The bag can't save you from your own damp clothes. Dry layers let your body's furnace work efficiently, keeping your core temperature stable and your energy reserves intact for the next day. Soldiers always slept with a dry cap. Head heat loss is real, and a bare head can bleed warmth faster than you'd expect, even inside a sleeping bag. The rule was simple and absolute. Never sleep in wet clothes. It was drilled into every recruit, and for good reason. Commit to the ritual. Change, even if it's uncomfortable for a moment. That brief chill is nothing compared to the danger of a freezing night. That discomfort is an investment in a safe, warm night. It's a small price to pay for waking up alive and ready to face another day. This lesson was paid for in blood. Don't forget it. Many who ignored it never got a second chance. Dry clothes, dry head, warm sleep, that's survival. In the cold, it's the smallest habits that keep you alive. Every empty space in your sleeping bag is air your body must heat. On the Eastern Front, soldiers couldn't waste energy warming dead air. They filled voids with gear, dry socks, base layers, even boots at their feet and sides. This kept clothes warm for morning and boots pliable, not frozen. Spare clothing, canteens, jackets, anything that fit, was used to contour the bag to their body. Less air to heat means more efficient warmth. It also kept essential gear functional. No frozen boots, no icy water bottles. Don't toss your gear in the corner. use it as insulation. Fill every gap, make every cubic inch count. Your sleeping bag becomes a custom-fit thermal pod. It's a simple, powerful trick. Stay efficient, stay warm, make your gear work double duty. Even the best sleep system needs protection from the elements. Wind and snow can steal warmth and soak insulation. The answer? An outer shell, the bivy sack. Soldiers used ponchos or canvas as a waterproof, windproof envelope for their bedroll. The bivy blocks wind, keeping warm air trapped inside. It shields against moisture, snow, condensation, frost, keeping insulation dry. It also reduces dead air space, making the system more efficient. The bivy unified their sleep system, turning scraps into a survival fortress. Today's bivy sacks use high-tech fabrics, but the principle is unchanged. Create a personal protected micro-environment. The bivy is the final critical layer. It's your shield against the wild. Don't sleep without it. The survivors of the Eastern Front didn't have the best gear. They had the best knowledge. They outsmarted the cold, using nature's laws to their advantage. When you head into the wild, remember, gear is a privilege. Knowledge is a necessity. Practice these skills, understand why they work, and honor the legacy of those who learned them the hard way. If you value history and survival, like and subscribe to Barrage and Bushcraft. When your gear fails, knowledge is the tool that never breaks. Stay safe out there.